Minimalism, it's become viral, a buzzword. In fact, if you go on YouTube, you can find videos on minimalism with millions upon millions of views. It can be a great strategy, but it can also be extremely toxic. There are so many rules to follow. For example, you can only have 3 spoons in your drawer, not 4 or 5, but 3. You can only have 7 shirts, 1 for each day of the week, not 14 or 15 different shirts. Hardcore minimalists often become obsessed with numbers. It becomes a numbers game. Let me know in that comments box below if you have ever heard any of this, or maybe minimalism has turned you off completely. And then you start to feel like you need to live in a home with basically nothing in it. What? Really? These minimalist tips are going to be complete game changers for you. Trust me. I have 4 small children and we have a very active lifestyle. And if you were to walk into my house, you would have no idea that this home had this many people in it. And not to mention, I also love my Amazon. In fact, my neighbors probably think that I have a hoarding problem considering all the Amazon delivery drivers and Amazon trucks that show up at my house weekly. But I'm sharing my secrets with you. And I saved the best for last. Number 10 is gonna keep you motivated and excited. So here are 10 new minimalist rules that actually work even if you're not a minimalist. Rule number 1, the 1 in, 1 out rule with a twist. What are some of the most cluttered areas in people's homes? Often it's the kitchen and a closet. A kitchen because that's where everybody congregates, that's where we put our stuff, that's where we often spend most of our times. Well, and closets, you can hide all your crap. They're often neglected, you can shut the door, nobody really sees them except for you. So here's how I apply the 1 in, 1 out rule in my home. In the kitchen, especially when it comes to water bottles, we have a bit of a water bottle addiction. If we are to buy a new water bottle, that means that 1 water bottle has gotta go. And our water bottle holder only holds so many water bottles, so it also makes it a little bit easier when you have good organizing tools because there's no more space for yet another one. 1 has to go. And if you don't want to depart with a water bottle, well then we don't end up getting a new one. I also like to do this in my closet because I do like clothing. 2 ways that I do this in my closet. I only have so many hangers. And if for some reason I happen to need more hangers, it's because I have overbought. I have too many articles of clothing within my closet, and my husband and I do share a closet. If I have run out of hangers, that does not mean that I go onto Amazon and buy more hangers. That means it's time to donate an item in my closet. Or if you already know that you have too much in your closet, if you're gonna purchase something else, well then something else has gotta go. 1 in and 1 out, baby. Now I know this is especially hard if you love your Amazon deliveries, much like I do. This is where that scary word comes into play. BUDGET. Budget. It's oh so helpful and absolutely necessary. If you are sticking to a budget, chances are you're not over purchasing than if you did not have a budget. At least I can say that from my own experience. No budget, it's a shopping spree all month long. I have a budget in place. Well, I got a box that I gotta stick in. Here's what will make a budget a little bit more appealing. Have a goal. In fact, as a family, we have a monthly savings goal for something we are saving up for. And that secret I will not give away yet. And every time you want to make a purchase, ask yourself, is this taking away from my big overall goal, which will actually make me more excited over the long run? Maybe you want to pay off some debt, some student loans, a car payment. Maybe you want to save for your kids' college, your grandkids' college. That would be way more rewarding than the Amazon box that's going to arrive on my step in the next couple of days. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. It will. It will. Rule number 2, time decluttering, not just stuff. In fact, one of my biggest pet peeves in everyday life is wasting time. Time is our most valuable resource. You can never get it back. So this is what I want you to do for the next couple days. I want you to track how you are spending your time. Like literally write down how you're spending your days. Look at that sheet of paper and ask yourself, is there something that I could cut out that is wasting valuable time? What sort of things are distracting me on a regular basis? So what happens when you cut out some of those time-wasting oysters and distractions. You have more time to do the things that bring you more joy. Maybe you want to get in better shape, you want to work out, maybe you want to do some more reading or journaling and self-care time. Maybe you just want to hang out with some friends. Maybe you just want to sit at home, watch some Netflix, and eat your favorite snacks and treats. Here's something helpful that I do to cut down on time. I have an errand day. So I do any returns that day. I would run to Target. Maybe I need to go to Aldi. Maybe I need to drop something off at somebody's house, but I try to save it for one day during the week. You would be amazed at how much time you save when you cut down all of that running around and unnecessary busyness. Rule number 3, if it's not useful, it's clutter. So the next time you're about to buy something, ask yourself this: does this item make my life better? And does this item solve a problem? And if not, it might just be taking up extra space. And in fact, you're gonna lose time because that's one more item that you have to spend time organizing and moving and touching. You see how that works? Oftentimes we tend to buy things to fill an emptiness, a void, fill space. There's something about space that can often make us feel uncomfortable. There's actually a term for it called kenophobia. It's an intense or irrational fear of empty spaces or void. Clutter can often give us short-term comfort and an ego boost, but deep down inside, we often still have that feeling of emptiness or loneliness or just wanting more. So, challenge yourself and learn to get comfortable in space. There's actually something really calm about a kitchen counter that's not filled with all kinds of junk and trinkets and clutter and this, that, or the other thing. Thumbs up if you can relate to me on that one. Rule number 4, embrace multi-use items. Let me show you what I mean with 3 different items that I have in my home. We have this blue rolling cart. This is great at the grocery store. This is great if you're going to the pool or a baseball game. It also doubles as a seat and it also doubles as storage. So I guess that would be it triples as storage. I love lamps that are not only lamps, but they're also charging stations. So you can light up your room, but you can also charge your phone or any sort of tech gadget at the same time. And this one might be my favorite. I have these footrest / chairs that are in my office, but we also use them in my living room if we have extra guests over or we want to play a game or something. And I guess it triples as a table if you want it to. It's like getting 2 or 3 things for the price of one. Rule number 5, your version of minimalism is okay. What matters most is how you feel in your space. Your feelings will tell you everything. If you walk in your kitchen and you have this feeling of like, ugh, or your living room or a bathroom, or you open a drawer and you're just like overwhelmed and you can't find what you need, that right there is telling you that a change needs to happen. Maybe you need to create a little bit more space in your life. What is the ultimate goal with all of this? To have true peace and happiness and help you save time and make time for the things that you really love and enjoy in life. Rule number 6, declutter by zones. The biggest comment that I often get is, Andrea, I don't even know where to start. I feel overwhelmed, like help me out, honey. That's what I'm here for. My best advice is to start with a drawer. Yes, just a drawer, and often a kitchen drawer. You're gonna take just a little time to organize that drawer. It could be a big drawer, it could be a small drawer, you decide. But once you organize that drawer, maybe you've kept some items, you've donated some items, and you've tossed some items from that drawer, you're gonna feel so much more accomplished and ready to tackle the next big thing or small thing. And yes, I want you to touch every single item in that drawer, like literally touch it with your hands and ask yourself, keep, donate, or toss. And before you know it, you will have tackled like 5 or 6 drawers, then you're gonna just keep moving on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and it's gonna get easier and your decision making is gonna get faster. The name of the game is zones. Rule number 7, celebrate progress, not perfection. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll go on Instagram and I'm looking at these just gorgeous homes, and at the end of that, I kind of feel worse about myself because my house doesn't look like that house. Let me know if you can relate to that one. So that's when I need to set myself straight, like, Andrea, you have 4 kids. Like life is busy, life is chaotic. You are doing the best that you can. And the same applies for you. If you're feeling down and defeated, or you're comparing your home to somebody else's home, just remind yourself of all the progress that you have made. What I want you to do is take out a piece of paper at the end of this video. And on this blank piece of paper, every time you organize something, a drawer, a closet, a cabinet, possibilities are endless. I want you to write it down on that piece of paper. And over time, as you add to this list, you're gonna see all the progress that you have made when it comes to your organizing and decluttering within your home. It's kind of like, yes, look at that. Sometimes we just need to visually see it. In my world of minimalism, it's not about getting everything done perfectly. Small wins add up to big changes over time. Rule number 8, and that is practice the pause rule. So oftentimes when I'm on Amazon and I'm about ready to hit that buy now or checkout option, I have to ask myself, do I really need this item? Is this item taking away from an overall goal, a family savings goal that we have? Is this item gonna serve a purpose? And when I have those feelings and I say yes to many of those questions, that's when I just put it in my save for later. In fact, for me, it's become a habit. If I have spare time, like, what do I want to do? I just want to peruse Amazon and look at all the fun things. Now, the pause rule is especially beneficial because most of the time our shopping behaviors are habitual. So the pause rule starts today. Rule number 9, surround yourself with intention. When your home and surroundings feel more intentional, often you feel lighter, you feel more peace, you feel more in control of your life. Here's the really cool thing about becoming more intentional in your life. It starts to become this snowball effect. You start to put intention on autopilot rather than spending and cluttering and hoarding and just living a very disorganized and chaotic life. I mean, that sounds pretty awesome, right? And rule number 10, minimalism is a journey, not a destination. So the overall goal is to keep learning, keep adjusting, keep understanding ourselves better so that we can make better choices when it comes to our homes and our lifestyle. I kind of assimilate it to like, yeah, I want to lose 20 pounds. I ate a salad. Why did I not lose those 20 pounds? Or I ate a salad for 5 days, yet there have been years and years and years of unhealthy choices and behaviors that led up to that situation, right? I mean, we can all relate to that to some degree in our lives. The same concept applies to our homes. So give yourself grace. Keep watching videos that inspire you. Follow people that make you want to live your best life and make you feel good about yourself and encourage you. Make time for journaling and reflecting on your goals and continue to write down all that progress that you have made from here on out. And when you look back at that piece of paper, you're going to see how far you have come. Remember, this is all about creating a life that feels calm, functional, and uniquely you. All right, let me know in that comments box below which rule resonated most with you. Are you following me on Instagram? If not, make sure that you do. Andrea Jean Cleaning. I'll link it in the description box below and pin it in the comments section. I post on Instagram stories every single day. Lots of fun happening over there. And we have got to keep the fun going. So click this video on screen now. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you, my friend, in the next one.